Hey, what is going on, you drooling Delmice? Today we're going to be playing some games with Melmetal. Now you might be asking, what the heck is a Melmetal? And this is the Melmetal GX. It's a promo card, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have no idea what this card is. I didn't know what it was for a while myself. It's got the ability Hard Coat, takes 30 less damage from attacks, just straight up. And then Metal Blast for 4 colorless, 110, plus 20 for times the amount of metal energy attached to this Pokemon. And then Iron Force, attach any number of metal energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Iron Force GX attack. So this is how I've been running the deck. Really straightforward, really simple. Just a 3/2 Melmetal. You kind of make one Melmetal, and he kind of draws all your prizes, and you heal him with the mixed herbs. Set him up with either the Solgaleo Prism or your own GX attack, just depending on what kind of situation you're in early on in the game. And you kind of turbo through your deck with the Acrobikes, the Nest Balls, Ultra Ball. Get a ton of ways to find Pokemon early on. Really want to get off a turn 1 Radiant Star, or turn 2 if we go first. And we got the 2 Laylas in there to help us support us early on, find our supporters. We don't play a ton of Pokemon in this deck, only 9 total, only 7 basics. But it's been working out okay. I don't think Melmetal's matchups are all great. I think it has its up and down matchups. Like, I think the Zapdos matchups and the Zoroark matchups are really good. And then everything else besides that is a little rough. Ultra Necrozma is tough just because they can one-shot you. Same thing with Blacephalon. Pikarom I actually have not played against a whole ton. So I'm not sure about the Pikarom matchup. Pikarom might be more of a fine matchup than I think, but I would assume it's probably a little bit unfavored. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into some games and see if we can do some damage with this Melmetal. Into the first game here. Open Lele. Subpar starter, but it's not the worst thing ever. We'll survive, I think. It's not that big of a deal. We are going first, which is cool. Very cool. Got the, playing against a Ultra Necrozma deck. No, I think this matchup is probably bad. We're gonna find out right now. It's possible we can just run over them. We're gonna go ahead and throw down all 3 switches here, because the only real point of the switch is to get into the Solgaleo initially, so it's okay for us to just kind of burn all of them on that one guy. Alright, the Meltan comes down. They're protecting him. Forest. Huh. We have Lily, and they follow up Guzma to kind of kill whatever we want with the Meltan. Maybe we should have held on to. Ah, man, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought with the switches. Nah, it was good. It was chilling. What do I want to Viridian Force away? Those questions. We definitely want to attach. I think we're Viridian Force away the Ultra Ball actually. I'm gonna go ahead and discard 3 with that fresh squeeze. Fresh squeezed. Yeah, so I think the Ultra Necrozma matchup is gonna be pretty tough, but who knows? You know, we could get lucky here. We're setting up pretty good here anyways. Our turn 2 is looking pretty good. We already got a mixed herb in hand. We got the Guzma to potentially KO whatever we want on our 3rd turn. Our 2nd turn is going to be fully devoted to setting up the Melmetal, which is fine. That's fine. Fully devote our next turn to set up the Melmetal, and then we kind of just go from there. There's a metal energy for our opponent. And I'm going to go down the Ultra guy. Yeah, hopefully we just find a Meltan next turn, or a Melmetal next turn, protect the Meltan. I was a little iffy about getting rid of the Ultra Ball. I maybe should have actually gotten rid of the Stretcher. Actually, I think getting rid of the Stretcher was probably better. I don't think the Stretcher is going to be all that good in this matchup. Kind of in general. I'm not sure about the Stretcher. They do play B-String. That's a big thing to take note of. It definitely makes this matchup scarier for us, as they can kind of get a really big Ultra Necrozma out of nowhere. Yeah, that's pretty scary. The B-String is pretty scary. I mean, it depends how many they play. I've usually seen these decks run pretty light on the B-String. They don't go too heavy on it, so probably not going to be a huge deal. There we go. Lily for, I don't know, 7 or 8. I got quite a few there. And a Let Loose. That's fine with me. Our hand was not anything great. And now, actually, they only have room for 2 Malamars to be set up here on their bench. So that's actually super good for us. Yeah, I'm actually this is kind of going pretty good for us so far, with us being able to potentially win this one, I think. I definitely think this matchup is generally, or I would assume this matchup is pretty tough. But with the way it's playing out here, as long as we don't KO Lele, Jirachi, or Let Loose too early on, they're going to be pretty limited with how they can actually play out their Pokemon here. So we'll see about this one. Might not end up being that bad. 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 Might not end up being that Wouldn't mind Viridian away a Lily, but Lilies are our draw supporters. Let's just go Cynthia right now. Probably Viridian something else after. It'd be nice to still have a draw supporter. Alright, Acrobike. Take the Frying Pan, ditch this, and then get it back with Stretcher. Sounds good to me. We can get a ton of metal with that. So I'm going to get rid of the metal to get a metal. That way we can actually retreat this next turn if we want to attack. Or we can just attack with it, actually. That would probably be the way to go. Just attack with the Solgaleo. We can get back all 4 of those, and we can end up with 1 on the act. Protect it a little bit as well. And then a Radiant Star. All 4. Here, here, and here. And, oh, we have 1 more, huh? Well, here, fully set up the Melmetal, and then get the Solgaleo 1 attachment away from being able to attack or retreat it. Probably just attack with it at this point. Oh no, it takes 4. Oops, I thought he took 3. So we should have gone 3 and 3 here. Well, you know what they say, that sucks. Hopefully our opponent KOs our Solgaleo. Or we top deck a Guzma or a Ultra Ball to go Ultra Ball, Lele, Guzma, knock this thing down. But I would be 100% fine with this thing actually getting knocked out this turn, the Solgaleo. Or them actually just hitting it with the Ultra Necrozma. We'll see where this goes, though. Skateboard to the Jirachi, so they can definitely hit it. But it seems like the Jirachi has not been doing too well for them. There's the Lele for the Goose. Go ahead and thin this out. Get a Metal. And then Lele, we're going to Guzma, knock out that Ultra Necrozma, and also set this guy up a little bit further. Yes, Guzma. Alright, so unfortunately we prize the Guzma, but that means we might get it off the prizes. Because we definitely want to be able to pressure the GXs super hard in this matchup. Like I said, can't let them sit here and set up Ultra Necrozmas. We can't let that happen. We are activating B-String here, but they have been dead drawing, so it's kind of like a perfect scenario. They also put down 3 things that were not attackers or Inkays, which is the Lele, the Jirachi, and the Marshadow, which are all things we actually just don't want to knock out ever, if we can avoid it. We're trying to avoid knocking those out. I'm going to focus on taking out just the attackers and limiting them to only 2 Malamar in play for as long as possible, or potential Malamars. They have 2 Inkay now, which aren't Malamars, but they are potential Malamars. Alright, they found themselves a Guzma there, so they're still in a tough draw. I mean, even if they get Ultra Cross, they need a lot of energy to KO the Melmetal, right? Or 280 HP? Yeah, they need quite a bit of stuff to actually knock out a Melmetal. There we go. There's their first Malamar. Took them a while, but there they go. Off to the races. Yeah, they would need an Ultra Necrozma would need what? 3, 4 Psychic Energy, I think, to knock us out. So that's quite a bit. I can't really do that in 1 turn, except when they have B-String, which this person does play. But when I have seen B-Strings in the Ultra Necrozma deck, it's usually just 1. So I'm not super scared of it. Yeah, it's usually just 1 B-String. And it's already gone, so we don't have to worry about the B-String anymore. I'm hoping... Yeah, there's the retreat to the Marshadow. We don't want to KO Marshadow. Much rather KO the Lele, but I guess we could look for the Guzma KO Lele. Nope. We could then make sure we wouldn't be able to get... what's it called? Definitely attach to Solgaleo. Can use him to take a knockout at some point. And I think we're just going to play Cynthia here. I could have Viridian Force away the Viridian Force, I guess, but I kind of want the option to find an energy on this side. And we're just going to go with the Metal Blast. Kind of need our opponent to keep drawing poorly from here, I'm not going to lie. Alright, the bench space has opened up, so now they can actually get down some more Inkays, for more potential Malamars. We do have a Guzma ready to go, so we can actually chase any Ultra Necrozma they try and set up, which is like the ideal. They do have the March. They usually only play 1 Marshadow, and it is in the discard pile now, so they could stretch it for it and let loose us out of our very nice hand. I actually really like this hand right now. This hand's very cool. Yep, there's an Erica for 5 cards. Second Malamar. So they would need a lot here. They would need like Ultra Necrozma, Malamar. They got both those. B-String. Yeah, they got everything. B-String, Metal Energy, but it looks like they're Psychic Recharging to the Lele, so it looks like Lele is going to be their attacker of choice here. Definitely not their ideal attacker. I'm sure they would rather attack with probably not like anything else, but something else. Yeah, Lele is not an ideal attacker at all, not even close. But yeah, it looks like it is going to be the Lele, and we're going to hopefully hit 2 Mixed Herbs, fully heal our Melmetal, keep him out of danger's way, and then look to close out the game from there. Here we go, energy drive for only 80 damage. A lot of work left to do for our opponent. I'm going to Viridian Forest away. Viridian Forest, taking energy out of the deck. We're going to try and acrobike into a mixed herbs here, so we're going to increase our chances as much as possible. The Meltan's actually not bad. I can bench him, attached to him. And then I think we will Cynthia. And we will look for the 2 mixed herbs. I don't think, I think it's pretty unlikely that we draw it. Yeah, we don't draw it. That's fine. All away those two. Just gonna grab this other guy out of the deck. Can maybe just reinforce him away next turn to get extra draw off the Lily, and then Mental Blast for the knockout on this Lele. 190, and we're actually set up to win the game here. We can go Guzma, and we get another Guzma out of the prizes, as well as the second Melmetal. Can Guzma knock out anything with the Solgaleo Prism? So yeah. This game, maybe it's not as bad of a matchup as I think, because they do need a ton to build up for the Photon Geyser. So if you can just knock out the Ultra Necrozma that they're building up before they actually get to attack with it, knock it out with a Melmetal before they actually get to attack with it, you can actually end up in like a pretty decent spot. There's a second B-String, so they are heavy on the B-String. Ooh, they can GX attack here. That would get them 2 prizes, and we knock it out with this, though, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. There's the Beast Energy. So I think they actually knock us out here with the Beast Energy. Maybe not. They'll be doing 180. Well, it's minus 60. We're doing 210, minus 60, 150. Okay, they would knock us out with the... they do knock us out with the Beast Energy. Just 10 damage over, I think. Yeah, 10 damage over. All right, so they do get the knockout here. With the Ultra Necrozma. Wait a second. Did I do it wrong again? No, I did the math right this time. Yeah, they do knock us out with Ultra Necrozma here. But we do have the Solgaleo Prism set up and a Guzma in hand, so we can just go ahead and Guzma, knock out a Malamar, and close out the game from there. They were set up for an almost potential comeback here. If we didn't have Guzma this turn, it would still be pretty rough, but they could potentially have made a comeback here. But we would have probably just gone with like a Radiant Star if we didn't have Guzma this turn. Set up 2 attackers, hopefully have a draw supporter in hand, look for a Guzma for the next turn, with ours either take the knockout with the Solgaleo or the second Melmetal. Yeah, possible. But yeah. Melmetal's going down, and we have the Guzma. So this one's just about over. Just need to play out our last turn here. Go Shuckle. Get up there, guy. And it doesn't matter what we Guzma, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Guzma this guy. Boom. And Corona Impact for the knockout. So we had to get a little fortunate here, I feel like, especially because our opponent plays heavier on the B-String. That makes this matchup way worse than I think it... I already think it's probably an unfavored matchup, but it makes it way worse for the fact that they play B-String. We are able to just like squeak this one out here in the end with the unfortunate draw in the mid game from our opponent, and we had that early Guzma KO on that Ultra Necrozma, which really was the big catalyst towards us actually winning that game, was that Guzma knock out that Ultra Necrozma. Another game here, we are up against a metal deck. Go ahead and take a look at the deck. The boy is here. That's all we really want. Yeah, so getting into another game here, we are against, did I say a metal deck? A lightning deck. We are against a lightning type deck. 2, 3, 4. There's a Meltan. I'm so scared of a Zapdos knocking out our Meltan guy, but I don't think we really have a choice here. I'm gonna go ahead and thin out the deck with the fresh squeezed. And I don't think I want to give them access to Viridian yet, so we're just gonna go ahead and hold on to the Viridian for this turn and just go ahead and pass. Yeah, I don't want to give our opponent access to Viridian for no reason, so we're just gonna go ahead and hold on to that. So yeah, I do think the matchup, the Zapdos matchup, is favored as long as we're ever able to set up a Melmetal, but I think that's kind of like the first that's the first hurdle we have to get over, is we actually have to set up a Melmetal, and then from there it gets favored. But until that happens, the matchup I think is actually pretty close. We'll see what our opponent has in store for us. If they are able to knock out our Melmetal or our Meltan, which would be a huge tragedy for Meltans everywhere. Yeah, just not cool. Looks like it is going to be a Jolteon from our opponent here to start things off. Hopefully no Guzma E-Power to follow that up, and we're just chilling. We can just take our time. We can both, you know, set up. That'd be great. Why can't we just both set up, have some fun? There we go. It's a Lily. Awesome. So we're going to be able to get our Melmetal set up on our next turn. 4 Pokemon in play from our opponent, so that's going to be actually 5 Pokemon in play. So we're going to be able to actually get quite a few energy here off this Radiant Star on our first turn. Onto our Melmetal GX. So the one thing we have to be a little worried about in this matchup is the Coco GX. We have to try and avoid putting too much energy in play. because then Coco GX will actually just one-shot our Melmetal GX, so we have to be careful of that. So I think it's actually hard for us to potentially... Oh, the escape rope. All right, well, I guess we're going to give... We could give them Shuckle, or we could just send up our Solgaleo. And I would be fine just setting up the Solgaleo and letting them hit it, I think. Unless we want to, like, set him up and just feed the Shuckle. They both pick up the Shuckle pretty much whenever they want. Making this harder to KO seems pretty good, actually. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and feed them the Shuckle. I'm kind of fine with that. Yeah, it's not too big of a deal to feed them the Shuckle here, I don't think. Goodbye, Buckle. Alright, send up Solgaleo. 3 energy in the discard pile. Could make it some more, but I don't want to put too much energy in play, like I said. I kind of just want to put just enough to attack with the thing, and I don't want to give them Viridian Forest if I don't have to. I think we're just going to play that, play Cynthia. Look for a switch card, look for a Frying Pan. Bada bing. And then, yeah, we're just going to Radiant Star the appropriate amount. We could go 1 over. Could play Viridian and go like that. We could go 5, 6, but then we'd be taking 300 damage from Coco GX, so we can't do that. We're going to have to, like, take some hits here. That's fine. Yeah, we can't let Coco GX just kind of one-shot us. I don't think that would be very good. That sounds kind of like a bad game plan. So, can't even really set up another Melmetal GX, actually. We can set one up later with its GX attack. Like, when this guy's about to get knocked out, we can go bench Meltan, and then they'll knock out the Melmetal, and then we'll go evolve to Melmetal GX attack. And that'll be our game plan. There we go. Let's send up the Jirachi, use an Ultra Ball. Let's see what they're going to grab here. I would assume a Pikarom, but, you know, could be anything. Yep, there he is. The promo Pikarom. The art on this one, I actually really like the art on this one. It's actually super cool. The art on the new Pikarom. So yeah, this is one of those matchups I'm, like, kind of unsure if it's good or bad. Now that we're getting into the game, I feel like this is going to actually be a pretty rough matchup. Yeah, this deck is pretty much designed to be able to beat Zoroark decks and straight Zapdos decks. Anything that hits a little bit higher and heavier than that is gonna be a little bit tough. Interesting that they did not put the energy on the Pikarom. I don't think they did that on purpose. I don't think that was on purpose. So they're gonna go ahead and punch us for 10 damage with the Zapdos. Interesting. 20 damage, my bad, it does 80. Oh, they're already bringing in the Coco GX. So actually, if they have 2 E-Powers, they do knock us out here. So that would be a little bit annoying. So they already bring in the Coco. If they do have 2 E-Power, they do knock us out, I think. I'm actually not sure on this one. Then there comes the Pikarom, attached to Pikarom. Okay. Yeah, it is going to be the big hit for 190. Not quite a knockout. Alright, so now that they've invested that already, though, I think we can go ahead and just start setting up another Schmetal Boy. I really don't want to I still don't want to give them access to Viridian. It's like less important now, but I still don't want to give it to them. I think we're gonna go ahead and Cynthia. We're gonna look for some heals, see if we can't find some heals. There's some heals. That's some heals right there. Is it worth healing? I think it is. Heal the boy up, and then Metal Blast for the knockout. All right, we've gotten through the Coco GX. They went a little bit early with it, I think. I'm not a big fan of that play from our opponent. And now we're just chilling. We're gonna look to set up another Melmetal. And yeah, hopefully 2 Melmetals will be enough to carry us through the game. We got a little bit lucky on those mixed herbs. I guess the knockout we were potentially trying to avoid was like Energy Switch attack with Head Bolt from the Jolteon. That would have been enough to KO us, so we avoided that now. Currently, they could still knock us out with enough E-Powers. They can always get it. I mean, they could always pretty much get enough E-Powers and then knock us out. So if they're ever able to find like a 3 or 4 E-Power turn still, then they're knocking us out, so... There's the escape board, so the Jirachi's got the free retreat. So if they're lucky enough to find, I don't know, Attach plus Thunder Mountain, no! They will be able to get the knockout. Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of. Oh, but they're going with the Zapdos, so they're just going to hit us for 20. So they don't quite have enough, I guess. Alright, so we definitely want to replace this stadium. That needs to go. We cannot leave that in play. Alright, Nest Ball. Guzma's not too bad here. But we wouldn't use it this turn anyways. I think we take the Guzma for later, though. Ditch the Stretcher. Another one. Still take nothing. There's 2 more mixed herbs in there. If we get those on this, that would be huge. And then Cynthia. Kind of a lot to ask for, and yeah, we didn't get it. No surprise. I don't know if I really want to frying pan that yet. I think we're just gonna hold that. No counter stadium. Hold up. Oh, yeah, I think the counter stadium is more important though. Really limit our opponent's options on this next turn. I think that's more important for sure. Go ahead and thin out the deck too. The Nest Ball is going to be burned anyway, so we may as well just use it to grab metal energy out of the deck. Now I kind of want to protect this from potentially a Zapdos knockout. Yeah, I think we're chilling. Just Metal Blast. Take the knockout. No way to get out the Melmetal anytime soon for this guy, but oh, there's a Lily. That helps quite a bit. Definitely, hopefully, be able to find a Melmetal off of that. Yeah, so actually, this game is looking pretty good. I think we might have this one just about wrapped up, actually. Believe it or not. We can go with a, So they have no way to get an extra energy in play though. So they actually can't attack with anything this turn, except a Zapdos, but they've already committed the energy on the Pikarom, so there's no Zapdos attacking. So we're in a pretty good spot here. Not gonna go have to do the heal again because I did have to lose some mixed herbs there, but I think we're fine. I think we're chilling on this one. Another Pikarom. Yeah, I love the artwork on the new Pikaroms. It's actually super sick. The Pikachu and the Zekrom. Alright. There's the heads. They're back awake. Alright, so let's see. How much energy in here is none. I'm gonna go ahead and thin out an energy. We have 4 Ultra Ball left. Alright, I didn't actually think we had 4 Ultra Ball left. We have 4 Ultra Ball left. So we could go with a Guzma, punch this Pikarom, could just knock this thing out, and then look to Guzma knock out the Zeraora on the following turn. So we have options there. Punching the Pikarom's a little bit risky because then they could go retreat, E-switch. You know, it's hard to tell what's in these lists sometimes these days. So I think punching the Jirachi is a little bit better play, and then look to Guzma, knock out Zeraora with the other Melmetal on the following turn. We have, like I said, 4 Ultra Ball left. All right, we still have not hit one. I'm gonna wait to use the Acrobike until next turn when I can Viridian Force one more time, and then thin out the deck by that much more. So it is gonna be the Metal Blast knockout here. Yeah, still 4 Ultra Ball left in the deck. Just want to kind of reiterate that one more time. I could say it again, but I feel like then at that point it's getting a little bit out of hand. So we are getting the knockout on this Jirachi. Over to our opponent's next turn. They need to use at least one. They only need to use 1 E-Power plus Full Blitz to knock us out, and then we're going to be knocked out. Right? Let's see. 160 HP left. Yeah. So they need to do 1 Full Blitz, 1 E-Power plus Full Blitz knocks us out. And so that's what I expect is going to happen. Yep. There's the attachment already. If they do anything like Guzma knock out Meltan, we have Guzma for the game. But from there, it's going to be almost impossible for them to knock out the next Melmetal. Yeah, it's going to be pretty much impossible. Oh, they're using up a lot of E-Powers here. They're really trying to draw with Lily. I felt like that seemed wrong. Yeah, it seemed like an unnecessary amount of E-Powers to burn. Yeah, I don't know about that one from our opponent here. That was a little bit off. Alright, we're set up Solgaleo to start with. Like I said, all we need is an Ultra Ball to win this game, and we can knock out this Zeraora. Alright, that's not an Ultra Ball, so we're going to go ahead and try and thin out our deck by +1 card. And then we're going to try and Acrobike into an Ultra Ball. It's a third of our deck at this point. And a Melmetal. There we go. There's the Ultra Ball. Finally! It took us a while. Oh wait, are we not doing as much damage as I thought? Actually, hold up. No, we're doing 190. I don't know why I thought I was doing 210 with this. So we're not knocking out the Zeraora just yet. So we're going to be invested into this Meltan pretty much fully anyways at this point. So we're just going to go ahead and fully load him up with the Radiant Star here. There's no reason really not to. We do get to protect him though, which is great. We're going to go ahead and protect our Solgaleo as well. And then Radiant Star. 4 energy. I don't think overloading this thing will ever hurt us. The Coco GX is gone, so there we go. Here we go. That's pretty good. We're hitting pretty hard now with this guy, and I think it's actually impossible for it to be knocked out on our opponent's turn. So we just eventually win this game as soon as we can get into the active, which is as soon as next turn for us because we have the Guzma. But I guess our opponent could let loose us or something, in which case it would just be kind of a waiting game. Yeah, it looks like it's going to take the full blitz knockout on this Lele, but that's not going to be. Can we actually knock out a Pikarom here? How much are we doing? 210, 270, minus 2250, 210, 270, 290. So yeah, we are actually able to knock out a Pikarom fully here. Go ahead and throw on an extra energy, and then Metal Blast here. 9 energy to knock out a Pikarom. So I played against 2 matchups that I thought would be unfavored. Got a little bit lucky in the first one, and then our opponent, I think, used the Coco GX a little prematurely in the second one. We're able to take 2 dubs. But that's going to do it on this video for Melmetal. Like I said, guys, this deck is built to beat Zoroark decks and straight Zapdos decks. The other decks it kind of struggles against a little bit. There's some other decks that I'm sure are like fine matchups for the deck, but yeah, that's all I gotta showcase on this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a like. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to subscribe. Links in the description for my Twitch live stream as well as social media links. Be sure to check all that stuff out. Have a good day. Thanks for watching, and peace.